And I bet you thought this YCS wasn't gonna go this way. Don't beg the 30% of you that have not smashed the ever-living crap out of that subscribe button. Smash it so you guys don't miss out. More awesome content. We're going to be talking about YCS Chile, what I have as of everything that is kind of settled down here, and discussion points for the format. So what you have working here is top 8. This is as far back as we can actually go. All right, I do know that top 4 was all cached era, and then as you're kind of looking at this right now, you're like, really? Six cached era in top 4? Well, I mean, I think you should now be concerned about the fact that this does now back up the point now that, you know, cached era is by far the best deck. I don't know who had any doubts at this stage. I don't know who. But if you had doubts at this point in the format that cached era was not the best deck in the room, please, I would love to hear the crazy cuckoo theories at this stage. Now, that's for top 4, and for what you're seeing, like I said, is top 8. We had one super heavy samurai player, just one in the top cut. Oh boy. Though, good news here, evidently the last missing top 8 list was actually Dragon Lore / Bysteel Control. All these Dragon Link players are getting upset if, you know, you call their Dragon Link deck, you know, it's Bysteel Control. Now, I didn't play any rocket card. It's still a dragon synchro pile thing. So we had some sort of dragon pile in top cut. But am I surprised about this turnover? No, not at all. This is literally just the biggest I told you so notion out of the entire thing. Now you're probably like, all right, Robbie, let's see some deck list here. There are tumbleweeds out here going for the amount of info that has been shared right now for deck list. There is 0 this morning as of being filmed. So heads up here, I assume probably throughout Monday / Tuesday, you will see more things. But I do want to fill in some more blanks for you. So this is just top 8. So what are some other things out here that actually made their way into the top cut? Please tell me, Robbie, is there some sort of goodness out here? Well, we do know that a Plunder Patrol adventure deck did make its way into top 16. I actually am kind of happy about that. I wonder if we'll see a list for that, but that's okay. I mean, like, on the higher echelon of the format, I mean, Plunder Patrol did sail in. That's good. All right, we also had a Purely player in top 16, so Purely actually did have a representation in terms of top cut as well. We had one Labyrinth in top 16 and one Labyrinth in top 32. I do not know if there's, keep in mind of all of this numbers, I don't know if there's more. These are just what has been recorded at this point that, I mean, we can only confirm like E9 things. And then we also had another super heavy samurai player in top 32. And then it looks like we also had a Sword Soul player out here as well. And then we also had a Live Twin Sprite player. So all of the other decks that you're very used to seeing, I mean, everything else that I've mentioned across the board in these regional breakdowns, they are present, all right? It's just we can only look at the pie chart for top 8 and go, wow, yeah, cached era, yeah, that's really exciting. And I mean, you got to remember, we're going into YCS Philly this weekend here. People aren't, if they played in this YCS, they're not going to want to share their list as we head on into this. Though we do know if top 4 was all truly cached era, which it was, we do know that Jesse Cotton did in fact play cached era for this event. So that's something else to kind of keep in mind here. You know, one of the better players in the game at this point in time has now adapted towards cached era. So keep that in mind, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to cached era. Oh wait, it's been cached era everything for the last couple of weeks. Yes, it has. So, top end of the format, absolute garbage. one of the worst. Well, actually, Robbie, yeah, you're right. I'm gonna actually you here. Hi, Despia players. Hi, it's me. I don't see anything here about Despia making top 32 at all out of the YCS. But don't worry, I will say the same thing here. I'm sure that there's one or two of you that squeaked in. I would be just kind of patient here, wait for more info to kind of come out into the open here. Same thing for come, Runic players. We had this talk yesterday. We talked about how, you know, the deck is not exactly in the best place right now. It's okay. It's okay, my friends. It's okay, my fellow Fountain of Youth players out here. Don't worry. It can't get much worse than it already has at this point in time. I assure you, all right? Just please be patient. So, are we surprised by any of this info? I mean, Robbie, what do we expect kind of going forward here, like, you know? Well, I can tell you, if you got Kashtira, I would, you know, do I need to get rid of it? I have a feeling that Kashtira, I have a feeling that the state that Kashtira is going to be left in is probably going to be very similar to how we saw the deck, how the OCG left the deck. I mean, we're probably going to see Unicorn Fenrir get restricted. Yes, I know Megatins exist out here. I'm aware, but I don't think, with the crazy conversion turnover here, Konami's going to want to spicing up the WCQ. All right, like, I definitely, it's not exactly in Konami's best interest to want to leave this format the way it is. All right, and you can make the argument, well, you know, I saw somebody who's like, well, you know, it's not fair that, you know, tier players had like 6 months to do their thing out here. You know, why can't Kashtira have longer? Because players don't want to deal with this garbage. All right, like, it's not like Kashtira has some, you know, crazy support coming in. I mean, they can go ahead and restrict Fenrir / Kashtira, and we've already been proven that the deck can still function out here. All right, it's a little bit slower at a turd's pace, but I mean, Arise Heart. People need to understand that the reason why this deck is so good is Arise Heart. Yeah, zone locking is like the free DLC win of the format. Oh boy, you're not going to believe this. Zone locking is free chicken tendies. It's the walking, talking macro guy that shuts off your opponent's graveyard, so now Purely can't play the game. Okay, cool, we'll just axe that. Alright, we zone lock out half of the back row, which is like the other half. Your deck, when you have so many extremes, oh, also against Pendulum, you zone lock one of their Pendulum scales. Super Heavy Samurai is going to look at you and they're going to go, thanks for playing, Duelist. I really enjoy your skill-based deck. Said no Yu-Gi-Oh player ever. Actually, they're cursing them out in their head because that's just how Yu-Gi-Oh players are. Some of the worst interactions physically that you could ever imagine out here are doing their thing. So, whatever, I would say, if I had to guess at this point, I would say probably they wouldn't make sense for them to release a list before Philadelphia, because that would just invalidate Philadelphia. They would want to have, well, actually, you know, Konami's they've released a list before an event before and just tanked down all the anticipation for it. But I would say if you're planning for a list probably after YCS Philly, it just doesn't make sense to see a list anytime, you know, I don't know how far out after that, but at this stage in time, Konami's definitely aware that Kashtira is doing things. And I mean, if they're not, whoa, woohoo, I mean, I guess. But on the lower end, competitive spectrum, I mean, top 32 is always going to look kind of diverse. It doesn't really matter, like, what other power decks are in the room. Variance always grabs hold and gives rogue decks a chance to shine. I mean, that's just how it is. I mean, that's why you're seeing something like Plunder Patrol sailing in here. And I mean, to be fair, out of SA, I mean, the amount of Plunder Patrol we usually see is usually one. At least one player has an idea of how to abuse the adventure package in the deck. And to be fair, Sword Soul has been old reliable for 95% of this format. So everything's doing what we really expect at this point. So, to all your Kashtira players, congratulations! You got another W. Thank you for moving this deck one step closer to getting destroyed on a Forbidden Unlimited list. And to the rest of the format here, please be patient. I will try to update things when we get an actual top 32 chart, but this is physically the best that we have at this stage. So please, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. I'll see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. Peace out. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.